Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, like all these wonderful people here, Cindy and tennis and yoga girl, Carrie, pretty girl's mom, Barb, Rick, our tiny acres. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. But if you'd like to join us on with the live stream, you can join me most weekdays around 4 p.m. Central Time when I go live on YouTube. Or if you'd like to reach out outside of the live stream, you could consider joining the Discord I created. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. A lot of people ask what kind of foods that I've been eating while on my diet, and that is a great place to see a lot of our favorite recipes. Today is day 810 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I have used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose 240 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I'd love to hear those as well. If you are struggling to stay on your diet, what's causing your struggles? If you are succeeding, share that news with everybody. Let us know what you're doing to succeed. And at the end of the day, what are you doing to make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Go ahead, switch over to the main. Hello, hello, everybody. Cindy and Barb and pretty girl's mom, Carrie, is here. Yes, Carrie's here early. Let's see, how is the reboot going? We have been enjoying the reboot a lot so far. I'll go over the food here in a little bit that we had since yesterday. But yeah, I've been enjoying the reboot. It's been a lot more vegetables in our diet, which I don't think can be a bad thing for us. So, let me see what I got. So, let's see. So yeah, the reboot's going really well. Let's see. And, yes, thank you, Courtney. It's been going great. We've been having a lot of fun so far. Our Tiny Acre says, you've been eating more veggies too. Yes, it's been nice to have a reason to eat more veggies, or at least the non-starchy veggies. I feel like a lot of my diet has been built on eating potatoes and brown rice. And so eating those extra vegetables, I feel like has been helping. I feel much more satisfied or satiated with the diet over the last few days as well. Our Tiny Acre says you've been eating a lot of homemade hummus and veggies. Yes, it's something, hummus is one of those foods from before I started eating this way that I never really cared for. And so since eating this way, I haven't gotten into eating a lot of hummus. But it's because a lot of times the hummus has got tortilla chips next to it and not vegetables. So if you can have some good hummus with some nice vegetables, that sounds delicious. Real quick, we'll go over the food here since yesterday. So I keep talking about how I never take any photos of the fruit. So I thought I would take a couple photos of the oranges that I ate. We are at the end of the bag of oranges. We need to get some new oranges. I don't know. It seems like they come and go in seasons, and they have been pretty good the last few months. So hopefully they're still pretty good. Then for dinner last night, I took a couple photos here. We had a lentil chili that Carrie made from the reboot, and then we put it over some Yukon Gold potatoes and mixed it all together. I really enjoyed this. I had a couple servings of it last night. Very good flavor to it. And just it was a great recipe. The other thing, the recipe that Carrie made, it was enough for a small army. So I believe that we might be having this for dinner tonight as well. Like, we had both eaten it, and then also some of our kids tried eating it, and looking in the Instapot at the end of dinner, it didn't look like we had hardly even dented the bowl as far as what was in there. So the recipe Carrie made it from, it's a very large recipe, or it made quite a bit, but it was really delicious and I enjoyed it. Between the dinner we had the first night and this night, this was probably a little bit more enjoyable flavor-wise or spice-wise, but they're both very good meals that we had. Let's see. I don't even know what this next photo is of. Oh, yes. So the other thing, Carrie says, lucky me. She picked up groceries on her way home from work today. So we should have some more fresh oranges when I get home. Carrie says, tonight we might switch it up and serve it over rice, which sounds really good as well. Maybe I might like it more over rice than I did mixed in with the potatoes. So that'll be good for dinner this evening. So last night we had a dessert that Carrie made. I think that plant-powered peddler Janet was talking about this yesterday, but this is a picture of the dessert. It's not very great lighting here, but it was sweet potatoes and bananas with, I believe, a little bit of pumpkin spice, and I want to say it was like curcumin or something. I'm not sure how you say the word, but it was a spice that was definitely I could taste that spice in it. But overall, cardamom. Yeah, that's what it was. But it was really good. And that was a nice little dessert that we could have at the end of the day yesterday. Let's see here. Sarasota says that you're cooking potatoes in the microwave right now. You're going to eat just potatoes, just like apples. Absolutely. I had a little potato apple today, that I snuck before I ended up eating my lunch. Sonia here says, hi, Jonathan and Carrie. Glad the reboot is going so well. That lentil chili looks great. Yes, it looks great. It was delicious too. And Carrie says that, yeah, the next time that she makes that dessert, that she'll use less of the cardamom because it's got such a strong flavor to it. Our Tiny Acre says it sounds similar to the carrot cake nice cream that you've been doing as a smoothie too. Yeah, I really like how simple the recipe is with it, and it's just it was a nice flavor, just a nice little snack to have at the end of the day. I kind of was joking with Carrie that, what are we supposed to snack on this diet, or if there is any snacking, but I kind of feel like, we eat so much food at our meals that limits the amount of even the inclination to snack. Let's see. Yeah, Carrie says that, she hasn't tried the carrot cake nice cream, but yeah, we've been, the kids have been enjoying the creamy, and it was been nice. We really like, kind of everybody in the family likes just having pineapple. I believe it's just canned pineapple in its juice and then frozen for 24 hours and then put into the Ninja Creamy. That seems to be the favorite of the flavors of whatever, Carrie's tried a bunch of different things with peaches and pears and all different flavors, but the just straight pineapple seems to be everybody's overall favorite. And our tiny acre says that in your nice cream that you haven't been putting the maple syrup in it and you still love it. Yeah, sometimes you don't need that little bit of extra sweetness. It's got it on its own, and it's just kind of just adding it to add it. So that's good. So then today for breakfast, I think that we had kind of wanted to try to do something different than broccoli, considering we had 2 pounds of broccoli yesterday, and we're planning on having broccoli for lunch today. So Carrie cooked up a few zucchinis, and so we had some zucchini. It looks kind of sad in the bowl here. Mine was brought in and heated up afterwards. I'm sure when Carrie had made it fresh, it looked a little bit better. It wasn't a ton of volume, but it was nice to get the vegetables in and get the nutrients in. The last couple days, I've actually kind of pushed when I've been eating breakfast a couple hours. And so today, when I finally got a chance to eat breakfast, I was feeling pretty hungry. And so I heated these up real quick and ate them, and immediately I felt just like this energy like was back. Like, and even though it wasn't a large volume of food, it was still like I said, I could feel that it gave me something. And then shortly after that, I had the rest of my breakfast, which was our standard oatmeal with spinach, mushrooms, and onions in it there. And then I did not take any photos of lunch today. Oh, I got distracted. At lunch today, I had a big bowl of potatoes and that's the wrong button. I had a big bowl of potatoes with a pound of broccoli and the curry balsamic from California Balsamic in my lunch today. I'm annoyed I didn't take a photo there though, because the potato one of the potatoes that I had in my bowl, might have been the largest potato I've ever seen in a bag of potatoes. It was like throwing it was like having a boulder in my hand almost, or it felt like it was as big as a softball or as that big. But yeah, that was a great lunch today. Very full, very satisfied, and happy with things. Let's see. William here asks, do you eat a lot of salads? Trying to eat a lot of salads, trying to eat more salads. Right now, we are working on Carrie signed up for, if you know who Chef AJ is, she has a reboot where it kind of reestablishes eating a healthier diet or a lower calorie dense diet. And so it promotes eating more vegetables. So for the last few days, we've been eating a lot more vegetables in broccoli form, but we will be eating more salads. And we do eat salads, like a large salad once every couple weeks. We'll eat a big salad that is made with spinach and bell peppers and onions and carrots and cucumber, and we make it in a big mixing bowl and then we split that. So we do eat salads. And we're trying to make them more reoccurring in our diet, maybe get some fewer starches, fewer potato based or rice based meals in a week. Let's see. Carrie says we only had 3 zucchinis. That's why it wasn't that much food. And to do it in the future, we would definitely make more. Jean says you had Brussels sprouts for breakfast for the first time. You did for your first vegetables for breakfast. It was very filling and good. It won't be your last time, and you loved it. Yeah, it's like yesterday, having that pound of broccoli that I had for breakfast, just very satisfying. And I could tell that it was going to take my body a little while to process it. And because it slowed that down, I was more satisfied throughout the day. And that was good. That was good. Let's see. Let's see. William asks, you're into raw fruits and veggie smoothies. You make them at home and take them to work. Helps you avoid cooked and fast foods. Yes, having the food available to you, planning ahead, bringing food with you, that's the best way to avoid the foods that you're trying to stay away from. That's something that at the beginning of every one of my streams, I ask the question, what are some things that you're going to do that will make staying on your diet healthier than the alternative? And that, getting the smoothies ready, having food that you bring with you to work, those are things that help keep you on your diet. And another thing I like to talk about too is having food in your future. Like if you're going to work, either have food with you that you bring or have food that you keep at work, but then have something that you can look forward to at home, or at least something you can go to at home. We talk about having pocket potatoes. If you're, just having a snack with you, having a snack on hand, having your go-to fruit, have a bag of oranges around you all the time, whatever the in-season fruit is, have it around you. So that's great that, you're working on that and you're finding ways to make staying on your diet easier than the alternative. Our Tiny Acre says you've been making more than you need, so your husband can take frozen meals to work with him. Yes, that's great. And that's a big thing why they promote batch cooking with this way of eating, because then you have, it's almost like what we did. Our dinner last night was like a batch cooked meal that we could have that for dinner again tonight. We could have it for lunch again on Saturday. And so we have that food on hand and we have something to eat. And a lot of this food is easy to make in larger quantities, and it tends to stay for a while, or at least you can freeze a lot of this stuff and reheat it later and eat it later. So, let's see. Carrie says, once we get through this chili, we'll have to do that. Jean says, you need to get California balsamic. You're not a fan of sour flavors. You think maybe a better quality might help. Having Skinny Girl now, and it's tart. Yeah, I really like the flavors that we have of the balsamic. It's been interesting because for a month or probably 2 months there, I was eating the potatoes and broccoli with no flavors in them, and I really enjoyed it without having any added flavor. So it's been an interesting change having those flavors to add to the food. And getting the California balsamics has been nice. The only thing that I worry about is that I'm overusing it. I don't want to waste it and spend all that money on it and have it go to waste. But yeah, it's really good. Let's see. So I'm going to talk about today. Talk about dieting and the word diet. I titled the stream here, 240 pounds down on the gorilla diet. I was looking at some different things, and there's a lot of push for people eating like a carnivore diet, or there's a lot of calling it the lion diet, and looking at, you want to be strong like a lion or be the king of the jungle like the lion. Well, I'm going to be the king of the rainforest with the gorillas, eating an herbivorous diet like the gorillas eat here. Pretty Girl's mom says here, the California balsamics have less acidity. It's only 4% compared to many others that are at 6%. So that might help. And Our Tiny Acre says, you were buying a ton of balsamic when your husband found out it tasted good to him. Yeah, that's what I worry about is overeating it. But yes, the word diet and dieting and the appeal of it, or the fear of the word dieting, and the society that we live in now, junk food is so common that when somebody starts to eat healthy, it's instantly labeled as dieting, and it's like this 4-letter word. You're on a diet, and why has diet become a 4-letter word? We need to change that thinking. If you look up diet in the dictionary, there's like 3 definitions. And the first one is it's the kinds of foods that a person or an animal or a community habitually eats, like you're on a vegetarian diet, you're on a vegan diet, a Mediterranean diet, but it's the kinds of food that people eat. Whereas the other definitions for it is, a special course of food to which one restricts itself, or, to lose weight, or for medical reasons. You say, I'm going on a diet to lose weight for medical reasons. I'm going to restrict my food. And then the third definition is to restrict oneself to a small amount or special kinds of food in order to lose weight. So it's a difficult diet, using it that way. Cindy Davis, thank you so much for the super sticker. That is amazing. It says, get yourself some more of those California balsamics. Yes, that's we'll have to keep going with our California balsamic fund. I appreciate it so much. That is awesome. Seeing that. Oh, and it popped up on my screen. Is it gonna, does it pop up there for very long? Oh, okay. Yeah. So I had just changed some settings on my thing, and so I hope that came up all right. I didn't have my thing up when that first came on. All right. Back to it here. Yeah, so Cindy says you see it there too. That's awesome. Rick says that's like a down payment, but worth every dime. Yes, they're so good. So dieting, we have all these definitions, and the last 2 definitions are really the most common, what everybody thinks of when you talk about being on a diet. Those are the definitions, or that's what comes to mind. And when you think of it that way, when you think of it as, a restriction, a lot of times you usually think of it as being bland or boring food that you're going to end up having, and that the whole experience is going to be tedious and unpleasant. And you think of depriving yourself and hunger and restriction. And because you have those thoughts about diet, or you're thinking about diet in that way, you also create a memory of the discomfort of your past diets, because that's where all of this comes from. That's where it's going to be tedious and unpleasant, and I'm going to be hungry and it's restrictive. It all comes from your past diets. And so when you think of diet, you think of all those things, and it's because all the diets you were on were tedious and unsustainable and unsuccessful. And it stirs up these emotions and these feelings of dread and doom, and it makes you feel defeated before you even get started. The word diet just becomes like all the other 4-letter words. You're afraid to say it in the wrong crowd. You don't want to say it around somebody and have them start spewing what they want to tell you about dieting, or start questioning you about what you're doing to diet. And you don't want people to look at you funny, And if this is you, if that's what comes to mind when you think of the word diet, then you need to start changing your mind when it comes to the way you think about the word diet. And it's not an easy thing to do, but, to change his mindset, I think the first thing you have to do is you have to start being proud about your diet. You have to be proud about what you're doing. Being ashamed about having to diet or being on a diet is because you're reliving that past history. You're still holding on to those memories of all the diets that you failed in the past. And in my case, a lot of times I would succeed on the diet, and I would get up on my soapbox and I'd start preaching about how it's the best diet ever. And then a year later, I'd have gained all the weight back. And so you do that enough times and you start realizing you almost look like the boy who cried wolf. I'm the man who cried successful diet. But it's your past failures that is doing that. It has nothing to do with the future or what's going to happen with this next diet or the next steps that you take. And so you got to quit giving that word so much power, and you can't allow it to carry so much weight. And you have to remove the power it has from you. And you have to change the way you define diet, because you are focusing on the second two definitions, and you have to embrace the first definition, the kinds of food that a person, animal, or community habitually eats. Your diet is the kinds of foods that you habitually eat. And the foods that I habitually eat now are like a gorilla. I'm on the gorilla diet, right? I'm an herbivore. I'm eating an herbivorous diet. It happens to be a vegan diet, but it's plant-based. My diet now is a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet. And those are the foods that I will be habitually eating from now on. And when I went into this diet, I in my mind, I was very much of the old diet mindsets that this is such a restrictive diet. This is crazy. Only eating plants and no added salt, oil, and sugar. What could you possibly eat? But when I look back, I realized that I'm eating less meat. I'm not eating any meat, any animal products. So, I've decreased what I've eaten by like 4 items. I don't eat cow, I don't eat pig, I don't eat chicken, and I don't eat dairy. And so I essentially removed those few items, but I added tenfold of different plant foods that I never even tried, or I would get my meals made without them on there. Before starting this diet, the only veggies I would eat were white potatoes and onions and mushrooms that were on a pizza. Like I wouldn't eat them on their own. I would eat them if they were part of a bigger meal. But now I eat so many more. I eat all of those vegetables, but now I eat carrots and corn and cauliflower and spinach and lentils and rice and oatmeal and kale and bell peppers and zucchini, onions. I don't know if I said onions earlier, beans. I mean, there's so many things now that I eat that I didn't eat before. And because I shifted from animal-based products to plant-based products, I changed the calorie density of the food that I eat. And so that allows me to eat the same volume as I did before without having additional calories. In fact, I'm eating far fewer calories because I'm eating only plants and I'm not eating the animal products and the oils and the dairy and all of the calories that come with those foods. And as I go on with this diet, I'm able to continue to work on making that shift to a diet that is the perfect diet for me, because that's what my goal was going into this challenge and making this channel, was to find out how I needed to eat to become my goal weight. And this is how I'm going to be able to eat to be my goal weight and to stay my goal weight. So many times when I lost weight and I did these awful diets from before, I would go from eating like a 4, a 5, a 600 pound person eating, 5,000 to 10,000 calories a day. I would go from eating a diet that was just adding pounds and packing the pounds on me to eating a diet of a starving child, of 800 calories or 1,000 calories. But that diet of 800 calories, 1,000, 1,200, whatever that restriction is on that, it might get me to lose the weight. It might get me to my goal weight. But if I continue to eat that way, it's going to get me to a point where I'm going to be malnourished and I'm going to pass away. You know, in the past, that's what we always think, is that we're going to do this one diet till we get to our goal. And then we're going to magically figure out how to eat that way, or eat the way we're supposed to when we get to our goal. And it doesn't happen. You know, it's you're going from one disordered eating to another version of disordered eating. And you need to find that ordered eating that is right for you. And it's so much easier to make that to succeed if you're eating a volume of food, and eating a plant-based diet allows you to do that. Cindy here says that when you choose your variety of veggies, do you choose certain ones for the week and design recipes around them, or pick the recipes and then the veggies? I feel like you get into a veggie rut. So, there are certain staple meals that we like to have. So we keep the ingredients for those meals around. But I think Carrie especially is always kind of looking around for something new, and she says here she's definitely a buy the groceries and plan the meal kind of gal. Sometimes she'll buy an eggplant with a general recipe in mind. Yeah. And so we have a lot of recipes here, but if she does see something that she wants to try, that if we have the recipes on hand, she'll use those, those ingredients on hand, she'll use those ingredients, or she'll buy the few items that she needs to make to try new recipes. But we have been continually trying new things, which has been wonderful. It's kept the diet interesting for us, and it's allowed us to find meals that we wouldn't have known existed, I guess, and to fine tune them to be better for us. The two examples I guess I would give is that the Mega Veggie Chili that we always talk about, the Mega Veggie Mondays, or Mega Veggie Chili Monday, is a meal that when we first started making it, it took a while for me to get used to eating this way, but we started enjoying it after the first couple weeks, and we've continued to have that meal in our regiment throughout the entire 2 years that we've been doing it. But the Mega Veggie Chili that we have today isn't exactly like the Mega Veggie Chili that we had on day one, or in the first few weeks. We've made some changes. We use different spices. So it's nice to have those staple recipes that we've kind of fine-tuned and worked out well for us. And then because we have those recipes, we've also been trying new recipes, and something like our polenta with white beans and mushrooms is something that for the last 6 months I've been going on and on about how much I've loved it. But for the first year, or maybe year and a half of eating this way, didn't even know it existed. So it's been nice trying these new recipes. And again, with that one, we've modified or changed it a little bit to fit our likings as well, too. And then Carrie says here, then we modify that staple meal depending on what she has on hand. Sometimes it's lima beans, or sometimes it's zucchini that aren't part of the recipe. Or a lot of times Carrie will add spinach to a recipe just for us to get some added greens. We feel like some days we don't get enough greens. So that's why we put the spinach in the oatmeal in the morning when we have that white bean and polenta. I don't know if that calls for spinach or not, but we put spinach in that. I know there was some other recipes that we've made that we've put it in there. Jean says here that you're so grateful that me and Carrie have been sharing our journey. Nice to know regular people are eating this way. You eat Mega Veggie Chili a lot. Thank you. Thank you. That's really been a great thing for me too. And what I've really liked about my experience with going on Chef AJ's show, and the people that going on her show has brought over to here, and you guys are on here on a regular basis, kind of just showing me that I'm not alone eating this way. Because when you say you're vegan, you become like one of 3% of the whole population. But then when you say you eat plant-based, you become a percentage of that 3%. And then when you say you don't eat any oil, you become a percentage of that. And then when you say you don't eat any sugar, a percentage of that. And then salt, like, so it's crazy, like that I'm able to have this platform and I'm able to reach out and have connections with so many people that are eating this way. And that helps keep me motivated to stay this way. And then knowing people like Chef AJ and the doctors and you guys here that have been doing this for longer than I've been doing this, like I've been, day 810, I'm still an infant in this world of eating this way, and it's so crazy to me to think of that, because any other diet that I've been on, if I would have made it to day 810, then I would be saying, where's my doctorate degree in this diet? Where's my doctorate in carnivore or keto diet or Mediterranean diet? I've been able to do it for 810 days. Where's my patch? Where's my token? Where's my trophy for doing it this long? Whereas with this diet, I mean, I would love a little trophy for staying on it for 810 days, but I feel like there's so many people out there that have been doing it for so long, and because it's sustainable, because you can do it for so long, that it's been a wild kind of shift in my thinking with it. But I'm happy that you guys are and Carrie says that that's why we like you guys too, Gene. It's nice to be able to share recipes and ideas. Yeah. And right. And just knowing that there's other people that are eating this way and are succeeding at eating this way. And the people, I don't see a lot of people talking down about this diet. But I think that the hardest thing is to stay committed to being on this way of eating, and to not give in and let these temptations. And something that, I kind of got off the diet thing, but Carrie says this is so true. There is the proof that it is sustainable. Yes. Tennis and Yoga Girl says that our trophy is less doctor's appointments, less medicine, clothes that fit better, and an overall better feeling. You get to feel great. Yes, absolutely. What was I going to just talk about there? It was, the hard thing is staying on the diet, is the understanding that it is sustainable. I think that there's so much of this mindset that diets are not supposed to be sustainable. They're not supposed to be what you eat for the rest of your life. Barb says here that support is a fundamental of success. You also really appreciate this channel. Thank you guys so much. But it keeps being on the tip of my tongue and I keep getting myself distracted. Oh, come on. I'm going to get it. Just give me a second. It was with this. Oh yes. I look back at the last 2 years, or the last 26 months that I've been doing this, and I kind of break it into periods, but of where, the first 11 months I did great. Everything was running well. And then that second 11-month period, I started letting, I gave into the temptations. I started trying some different vegan foods that had salt, sugar, oil in them, that were processed foods. And when I look back on doing that, I feel like a lot of my motivation to trying these plant-based alternatives was to see if I was going to like those foods when I got to my goal weight. I was like, I've never eaten a vegan diet. I've never had plant-based alternatives. If I'm doing all this work and then I get to my goal weight, am I going to even like this food that I'm supposed to be able to get to eat when I get to that weight? And so I think subconsciously there was a little bit of me trying these foods to see if I was going to like them. And what I had to realize over time was that there's really no room in my diet for those foods. It's not something that the way I'm eating now is the way I plan to eat the rest of my life. And so when I get to 220 pounds, my intention is not to start eating these plant-based alternatives and eating processed foods. My goal is going to be to continue to eat this way because, I guess in reality, I'm hoping that 219 isn't where I stop. If I'm able to get lighter, I'd like to get lighter. But if I deviate from this diet, I won't be able to stay at that healthy weight and consistently stay at that healthy weight. And I'm finding so much satisfaction from this food. Like the chili I had last night was as good as any food that I can remember having before starting this diet. There's no meal I can sit down and go, oh, that, because of the food, that meal was better than me just sitting at home. Like there might have been meals that had memories behind them, but not, it wasn't the food that I remember about a lot of those meals. And Sarasota says, you were saying exactly what I am and you love it. That's awesome. I'm glad that we're able to find some like-minded people out there in the world. Carrie says, and goodness, the food is good and it makes me feel good. Yes, the food, I don't ever feel bogged down by my food or less healthy because I ate something when I'm eating on my diet, when I'm eating whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free. William says your girlfriend likes liver and gizzard fried. Oh, liver and gizzards fried. It's the texture that you don't like. You don't care how much it's breaded. Do you eat it? No, I eat a exclusively whole food plant-based diet. So I don't eat any animal products. And I don't remember ever having liver or gizzard prior to, I'm sure I probably had liver maybe in some fashion, but yeah, I just don't have any need for it in my diet. And especially fried oil is a big part of the three things that I believe are a huge part of what causes us to overeat, what causes additional calories in our diet are the addition of added salt, added sugar, and added fat or oil to our food. So frying anything would be very, way right of the red line. We try to stay under the 600 calories per pound whenever possible. All right. So I think that's going to be it for me today, guys. I appreciate everybody following along and coming here to the live stream today. It was a great conversation. Janet, oh, you're just showing up here and I'm just getting off. I did show we had the sweet potato and banana pudding. I think you said you were going to try that yesterday, or you had it the other day. It was very good. So, and then we had the red lentil chili last night that it was really good. Oh, you're saying here that you were just now putting the red lentil chili on and assembled the fruit cobbler. That sounds delicious. Some fruit cobbler. Cindy here says you also find with eating this way, you don't fixate so much on the food since the pleasure trap ingredients are out of the picture. Yes. Like and I get so many great flavors from the food. Like the sweetness that I get from red peppers, I never noticed before. The sweetness in carrots, there's a lot of sweetness in that. And so it's really nice not having that added salt, oil, and sugar, that I'm truly tasting the actual flavor. You know, like with broccoli, I was never a big fan of broccoli or eating broccoli, and now I eat it without any added flavoring at all, just steamed broccoli, and I love the way it tastes. So, yes, let's see. Yes, sounds like a yummy dinner tonight. All right. So, we're going to have some of that red lentil tonight. I think we're going to do it over brown rice, and that's going to be our dinner this evening. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much. If you have not subscribed to the channel, get subscribed to the channel. If you've not clicked on the bell icon, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. And if you have not liked the video, commented down below, make sure you do that as well. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. There's nobody that gets to their goals, looks back and says, man, I wish I would have waited. Everybody wishes they would have started sooner, including me. So get started right now, guys. You all have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you tomorrow.